Decades have passed since the shadow of the Zodiac Killer cast a long and menacing presence over Northern California's Bay Area in the late 1960s. Yet, this unsolved mystery continues to captivate public interest like few other cold cases. From gripping books to riveting podcasts and even Hollywood blockbusters, the enigmatic figure known as the Zodiac Killer has left an indelible mark on American true crime culture. Before we delve into the depth of the Zodiac Killer's enigmatic saga, we extend a warm welcome to our channel, where we explore the unsettling histories of notorious serial killers. Without delay, let's embark on this chilling journey. Who was the Zodiac Killer? The Zodiac Killer, a moniker that sends shivers down the spine, is a notorious serial murderer who terrorized the northern coast of California in the late 1960s. He is infamous for his chilling communication with the news media, sending cryptic messages that taunted both law enforcement and reporters alike. Through a series of ciphers and graphic descriptions of his crimes, he managed to keep the public and authorities on edge. While he claimed in his communications to have taken the lives of as many as 37 individuals, there are 5 murders definitively linked to the Zodiac Killer. These victims include David Arthur Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, Cecilia Ann Shepard, Paul Lee Stinn, and Darlene Elizabeth Farrin. The Zodiac Killer had a chilling modus operandi. He often targeted couples, attacking 3 separate young pairs during his killing spree. Remarkably, 2 of the male victims managed to survive his brutal assaults. In a bizarre twist, in 1969, after his second attack, the Zodiac Killer himself called the police to report the crime and to claim responsibility for a previous double homicide. Despite extensive efforts, the Zodiac Killer was never apprehended, and the official investigation remains open. Over the years, countless theories have emerged, pointing fingers at various individuals who share physical characteristics or specific interest with the infamous killer. Why the enduring fascination? Dr. Harold Schechter, a literature professor and author specializing in serial killers, sheds light on the enduring allure of the Zodiac Killer. Beyond the letters he sent to the press, which is a tactic not uncommon among serial killers dating back to Jack the Ripper, it was the content of the Zodiac's letters, particularly the ciphers, that made him truly unique. Schechter explains that the Zodiac Killer consciously crafted his own mythology, donning a costume during one of his murders, using a distinctive symbol and adopting the moniker the Zodiac. This calculated creation of a mythological persona tapped into primal and childlike fears associated with a serial killer on the loose, resembling the mythical monster lurking in the closet. While many serial killers avoid capture, some, like the Zodiac, seem to revel in the idea of becoming larger-than-life villains akin to comic book characters. Moreover, the Zodiac Killer's elusive identity has given rise to a cottage industry of amateur sleuths and investigators determined to unmask him. The true identity remains elusive. Despite the passage of time, the identity of the Zodiac Killer remains a mystery. Law enforcement has considered several suspects over the years, but none have been definitively linked to the crimes. Arthur Lee Allen, the most publicly named suspect. Arthur Lee Allen, a schoolteacher in Vallejo, California, is perhaps the most publicly named suspect in the Zodiac Killer case. However, despite being institutionalized in 1975 for sexually abusing children, he was never officially identified as the Zodiac Killer. Linda Toshi Chambers, the daughter of David Toshi, a dedicated investigator on the Zodiac case, shared that her father had long suspected Allen but lacked the solid evidence needed for a conviction. A new suspect emerges, Paul Doerr. In 2022, author Jared Kobik presented a case against Paul Doerr, a naval documents clerk from Fairfield, California, as the true Zodiac Killer. Doerr, who passes away in 2007, became the primary suspect in Kobik's book, How to Find Zodiac. Kobik's theory hinges on shared interest between Doerr and the Zodiac, particularly their fascination with constructing explosive devices, specifically using ammonium nitrate and fertilizer. Both men had documented instructions for crafting such bombs in their writings. Additionally, Kobik points to similarities in age, height, physical appearance, and the fact that Doerr worked at a shipyard in Vallejo at the time of the murders, the last confirmed Zodiac killing. the final murder definitively linked to the Zodiac Killer occurred on October 11, 1969 in San Francisco. Paul Steen, a 28-year-old taxi driver, unwittingly picked up the Zodiac Killer as a passenger. The ride took a horrifying turn when the Steen was shot in the head. A tragic twist ensued when a police radio broadcast misidentified the suspect as a black man, leading responding officers to release a white man who matched the description provided by witnesses. Subsequently, the San Francisco Chronicle received a letter from the Zodiac confessing to the murder and containing a bloody scrap from Steen's shirt. The Gary Post controversy. Gary Francis Post's name has surfaced as a possible suspect in the Zodiac Killer case over the years. In 2021, an independent investigation group called Case Breakers, composed of former law enforcement officials, academics, journalists, and former military intelligence personnel, claimed to have cracked the cold case, asserting that Gary Post was the Zodiac Killer. Their argument rests heavily on DNA evidence found at the scene of Sherry Jo Bates' murder in 1966, which they contend matches Post. However, police maintain that Bates is not a confirmed victim of the Zodiac Killer and Post is not a current suspect in the case. Case breakers also cite shared characteristics such as shoe size, unique forehead scars, and anagrams of Post's name in the Zodiac's letters to the press. The elusive escape. The Zodiac Killer was never captured, and the investigation into his murderous spree in the late 1960s remains open. His ability to evade justice for decades remains a haunting testament to the cunning and audacity of this enigmatic figure. Why the name Zodiac Killer? The Zodiac Killer adopted his moniker, a self-given name, in 1969 when he began contacting the press. He sent infamous ciphers to local newspapers along with letters to the editor in which he claimed responsibility for various murders and threatened further violence. Is the Zodiac Killer still alive? Since the identity of the Zodiac Killer has never been established, it is impossible to say with certainty whether he is still alive. However, his communication with the media ceased in the late 1970s, and no additional murders have been definitively linked to him in recent years. Age and identity, the unanswered questions. Much like whether the Zodiac Killer is still alive, his true age and identity remains shrouded in uncertainty. Since he has never been conclusively identified, these essential details elude us. Why did the Zodiac Killer stop? The murders associated with the Zodiac Killer occurred between 1968 and 1969 in Northern California's Bay Area. By the late 1970s, the Zodiac had seemingly vanished, no longer sending taunting letters to newspapers or threatening further crimes. However, the enduring interest in the case has not waned, and the quest to unmask this elusive figure continues to this day. The Zodiac Killer, with his cryptic messages, gruesome crimes, and uncaptured identity, remains one of the most mystifying and enduring enigmas in the annals of American crime history. As long as his identity remains concealed, the shadow of the Zodiac will persist, and the fascination with this chilling cold case will endure. In the shadowy annals of American crime history, the Zodiac Killer's legacy endures as a chilling enigma that continues to captivate the collective imagination. Decades after terrorizing Northern California's Bay Area in the late 1960s, this unsolved mystery refuses to fade into obscurity. As we conclude our exploration of the enigmatic saga of the Zodiac Killer, one thing remains certain: his identity remains concealed, and the shadow he cast continues to loom large over the realm of true crime. The enduring fascination with this cryptic figure, driven by his cryptic letters, gruesome crimes, and uncaptured status, ensures that the quest to unmask him will persist, keeping the legacy of the Zodiac Killer firmly etched in the annals of American criminal lore. If you found this video informative and engaging, please show your support by giving it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay updated whenever I release new content. Your continued support means a lot. Until next time, thank you.